6:14, welcome back. Tourism Minister Melanie Joly has postponed an overseas trip as tensions rise with China. Earlier today, in a breakfast television exclusive, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau defended Canada's independent judiciary.
We have independent judiciary that makes its determinations as our procedures are set in without interference from politicians. China is reacting to the arrest of one of their citizens, but we are being absolutely clear on standing up for our citizens who have been detained, trying to figure out why, trying to work with China to demonstrate that this is not acceptable.
Are you worried about relations with China? They're the second largest trading partner.
Well, this is one of the situations you get in when the two largest economies of the world, China and the United States, start picking a fight with each other. The escalating trade war between them is going to have all sorts of unintended consequences on Canada and potentially on the entire global economy. So we're very worried about that. We are doing what Canada will always do, which is standing up for the rules, obeying our laws, standing up for Canadian principles, standing up for Canadian values, and not reacting the way some other countries are reacting.
Well, despite continued threats following the arrest of a Huawei executive last week, Ottawa has not increased the risk level for Canadians traveling to China. Several flights leave from Vancouver International Airport every day to transport hundreds of people to China for work and travel. You're still being asked to exercise a high degree of caution if you decide to travel there. But many people we've been speaking with at YVR are not too concerned. 16 members of the Sunshine Coast Minor Hockey Association are on their way to Beijing.
There's definitely concern and probably some reason to be concerned, but I think to look at it in a positive light, I think we could be sort of a good story that comes out of relationships between China and Canada. Last year we had a couple teams from China come visit us and play at our rink here on the Sunshine Coast. So for us to go back there now and meet them again and sort of rekindle that relationship, I think is a good thing for Canada.
China has now detained a second Canadian less than 2 weeks after a Huawei executive was arrested in Vancouver. Well, a key part of Surrey Mayor Doug McCallum's campaign has been approved by the region's Mayor's Council. Andrea McPherson has more on the Surrey SkyTrain extension.
And the breakdown that you look at throughout Surrey, it's in every region of Surrey that they want SkyTrain.
And with those arguments and hours of debating back and forth, the TransLink Mayor's Councils voted to proceed with the planning and development for the SkyTrain extension in Surrey along the Fraser Highway. That means the Expo Line expansion is one step closer, but there are now concerns that it might not make it all the way to Langley.
Preliminary estimates would probably point us that it would likely get us to either the Fleetwood or Clayton Heights area, but a lot more work needs to be done, and as is outlined in the work plan, to further define exactly how far the funding available would get us along the Fraser Highway.
This is expected to provide more options for people who live south of the Fraser River, and most Expo Line commuters that we've been speaking with are applauding the move.
I am taking transit right now, so I think it's a really convenient option.
I commute from Surrey, so it's so complicated sometimes to get back home.
I think it's a good idea. Yeah, especially for travel time, and people sometimes come from further out to work.
I have friends out there. I have a few business arrangements out there that I have to look after.
The plan that was approved means that at least part of the extension could be up and running by 2025, but questions over costs still remain.
There is an interest from the body to see the value that was spent and not used on the light rail project in some form reimbursed to the region there. Exactly the mechanisms of what that looks like and the components of that are still to be worked out, but that was the clear direction we received from the Mayor's Council today.
The Council voted to suspend the Surrey-Newton-Guildford light rail project back in November. In Vancouver, Andrea McPherson, City News.
Well, the most wonderful time of the year is also the perfect opportunity for thieves looking for gifts to steal from your vehicle. Crime Stoppers is reminding you to lock your gifts in your trunk and lock your car when you park it. If you're stopping at night, you're also being urged to find a busy, well-lit area to leave your vehicle.
And we all get very busy, and sometimes things aren't as top of mind as they should be. We're out shopping late, we're buying gifts for our loved ones, and sometimes because we're in such a rush, we just get a little bit sloppy about our own personal safety and the safety of our possessions.
Crime Stoppers also recommends taking a picture of your valuables with their make, model, and serial number. That way, if something is stolen and later found by police, there's a better chance you'll get it back.
You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch.